up, guys? It's Nathan, I'm the reviewer guy here. Got another throwback album review for you guys today. I haven't done one of these in a little over a year, now that I think about it. So I figured I'd do one today. Why? Because 24 years ago today, Faith No More released their album, Angel Dust. Now, this is their fourth album, of course, was released June 8th, 1992. I wasn't even born yet, fun fact. But this is the final album with guitarist Jim Martin, and only the second album with vocalist Mike Patton. And Chuck Mosley, he was on the first two albums. And Mike Patton, better vocalist, definitely the better vocalist in my opinion. But this is also the first album that Patton was involved in the writing process for. He didn't write anything for The Real Thing, he just wrote for Angel Dust and On for Faith No More, so I find that very interesting. And another fun fact, this is the most successful album outside of the United States for the band. It went platinum in Europe, and it sold over 2.5 million copies worldwide. And something else interesting I found out about the album is keyboard player Roddy Bottum said that the name of the album summed up what they did perfectly, in that it's a really beautiful name for a really hideous drug, that being cocaine, and that should make people think. And Faith No More is a very interesting and diverse band. I reviewed their album Sol Invictus, which came out last year, and I loved it, for one thing. And, well, this album, I'll tell you how I feel about it. And usually we throwback reviews, I go track by track. And that's not going to change. Let's do this. So the album opens up with Land of Sunshine. It has a little bit of a carnival feel to it, and it's a nice song to open the album with. It's nothing too big and spectacular, but it's energetic enough to get you pumped for the rest of the album. The next track, Caffeine, is a much more energetic track. I love the first verse of the song and the overall instrumentation that the song has. Then we have Midlife Crisis, which was one of the singles released off the album, and it's one of the band's more popular songs. Disturbed even did a cover of it years later. And it's easy to see why the song is so popular, because this is a great track. The hooks and the rhythm are just so infectious, you can't help but to sing along. Then we have RV, which is another song that has a bit of a carnival feel to it, but more so than Land of Sunshine. Most of the lyrics on this track are spoken word, except for the chorus. The song sounds less of a rock song, and it sounds more like a swing tune, I guess I'd call it, that you'd play at a fancy party, like cabaret type deal, a little bit like that. And I like that because it really shows the band's diversity. Then it's Smaller and Smaller, which shows a bit of diversity as well, especially with Mike Patton's vocal range. He goes from clean vocals to screams, and his screams kind of remind me of Chino Marino from the Deftones, and I know that Faith No More were around before Deftones, but you can definitely see where Chino's influence came from on this track. Then we have Everything's Ruined, which is without a doubt my favorite track on the album. The verses are catchy and the different styles blend together very well to make for a very unique and original sounding song. I also really love the symbolism of money and greed being used in this song. I think it's very clever. I pretty much never get tired of listening to this song. Then we have Malpractice, which is another song that really shows Patton's harsher and darker side. The instrumentation backs up the vocals on this track really well, especially the guitar and keyboard. It all comes together for a haunting track until a section in the bridge where it gets much softer and more soothing, but then it goes right back into its hard-hitting, haunting vibe. Next is Kindergarten, which has a really catchy guitar hook that I enjoy, and the lyrics are pretty interesting, such as, the drinking fountains get shorter every year, and the swings don't even fit me anymore. I'm telling you people, you won't hear this kind of stuff from any other band besides Faith No More. Then it's Be Aggressive, which starts out with an eerie keyboard intro and then goes into a more funk-sounding track. It also has a cheerleader group chant of "Be Aggressive." I'm gonna be completely honest here. I hate that chant so much. It's so irritating. I don't really hate any song on this album, but I will say I find this song to be the weakest. Partially because of the chant, but also because eh, it's a bit bland for Faith No More standards. It's still a solid track. I'll still listen to it every now and then, but I just feel as though it's the weakest on the disc. Next is A Small Victory, which is a nice calming tune that has nice softer guitar tone, and the vocals are very soothing. Plus, I also enjoy Patton's hup hup sounds that he makes in a couple places throughout the song. I can see if people would find that a bit annoying, but I like it. It's different. Then it's Crack Hitler, which has a nice tempo and pace for the most part. It's a bit simplistic, but I like it a bit more than I do Be Aggressive. Plus, I like the little vocal moments toward the end of the song. That's really where the vocals shine in this track, and it doesn't have Be Aggressive, B-E Aggressive, B-E-A-G-G-R-E-S. God, that's so irritating. Anyway, that aside, then we have Jizzlobber, which is definitely the best named track on the album, and it's also probably the heaviest track on this album, at least instrumentally. There's a lot of great guitar work on here, including a pretty rocking solo in the middle of the song. The vocals are pretty good too, but I think the instrumentation has to be the selling point for me on this track. And finally, the album closes with a cover of the title theme song from the 1969 movie Midnight Cowboy, which is okay. It's a solid instrumental song and a nice way to end the album. Overall, this album is great. It is a fantastic album, and there are little parts that I don't like about it. It's not perfect, but it is definitely worth picking up, checking out, listening to over and over and over again. It's great. If you haven't listened to Faith No More, do it. Definitely do it. If you like bands like Deftones or Korn a little bit, if you like anything alternative metal, experimental, anything of the sort, you will probably enjoy something by Faith No More. Favorites on this album: Caffeine, Midlife Crisis, Smaller and Smaller, Everything's Ruined, Kindergarten, A Small Victory. I guess my least favorite would be Be Aggressive. It's the weakest track on the album, but it's still a solid song, definitely. Overall, the album gets a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it is very good, very enjoyable, highly recommended, without a doubt. And happy 24th birthday to Angel Dust. My goodness. I should review albums on anniversaries more often. What do you guys think of the album if you've heard it? And what's your favorite Faith No More album if you have one? Let me know down there. I'm interested. And check out my social media stuff down there as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one with a more current album review. ThatAlbumReviewerGuy, signing off.